The sleek human vessel glided through the star-speckled void, its hull reflecting the distant suns like polished obsidian. Commander Talia Novak stood at the bridge viewport, her posture rigid but her hazel eyes betraying the wonder she felt at the approaching Celestian mothership. It was magnificent, a spiraling structure of pearlescent material that seemed to flow like liquid silver. They're hailing us, Commander Lieutenant Russo announced. Breaking her reverie, Screen Talia ordered. Smoothing her dark uniform, the viewscreen flickered to life, revealing a being whose beauty was almost painful to behold. His skin shimmered with an iridescent blue undertone. His eyes were pools of lavender that seemed to contain galaxies. Delicate crystalline structures framed his face like a crown. "I am Prince Jackson of the Celestian Dominion," he announced, his voice melodious, yet carrying an undercurrent of steel. "You have entered our sovereign space." Talia stepped forward. "Commander Talia Novak of Earth Alliance. We come seeking diplomatic relations, not confrontation." Jackson's expression remained impassive. "The Queen will decide that." Talia found herself in an audience chamber that defied human architecture, arches that seemed to float without support, walls that rippled with colors responding to sound, and there, seated on a throne that appeared grown rather than built, was Queen Alara. Unlike her son, the Queen's skin held a silvery sheen. Her eyes were deep violet, and when she rose to her full height, nearly 7 feet tall, Talia felt a flutter of something between intimidation and fascination. So the Queen's voice filled the chamber without seeming loud. "Humans have finally reached us. We seek to establish peaceful relations," Talia responded, maintaining eye contact despite the intensity of the Queen's gaze. "Peace." A smile played at the corner of Alara's mouth. "Your species has a curious definition of that concept." The Queen descended the crystalline steps, moving with fluid grace that no human could achieve. She circled Talia, studying her with unabashed curiosity. "You're their chosen representative?" "Interesting." Talia held her ground. "I speak for Earth." "What does Earth want from the stars, Commander Novak?" Alara asked, stopping directly before her. Their faces were inches apart, and Talia could smell an exotic fragrance emanating from the queen-like night-blooming flowers and cosmic dust. "Understanding," Talia answered honestly. "Knowledge. Connection." The Queen's eyes widened slightly. "Connection? How? Unexpected." Her fingers, long and elegant, lifted as if to touch Talia's face, then withdrew. "Perhaps there is more to your species than our intelligence suggested." As Talia was escorted to her quarters, Prince Jackson fell into step beside her. "Be careful what you wish for, Commander," he warned softly. "My mother's interest isn't always a blessing." Talia glanced at him. "Is that concern I hear, Prince Jackson?" "Merely advice. The last species that caught her attention no longer exists." Royal proposal. 3 days into the diplomatic mission, Talia had learned much about the Celestials. They were an ancient race, masters of biotechnology, who had evolved beyond the need for conventional weapons. Their power came from their ability to manipulate energy at a quantum level, including the energy of living beings. She stood now in the Royal Conservatory, surrounded by plants unlike any she'd seen on Earth. Some responded to her proximity by changing colors. Others emitted soft, bell-like sounds. "They sense your emotions," Queen Alara said, appearing silently beside her. Today the Queen wore a flowing garment that seemed to be made of liquid starlight. "They find you... fascinating." Talia smiled. "The feeling is mutual." Alara guided her deeper into the conservatory. "Your diplomatic team seems preoccupied with our technology, our defenses, but you ask about our art, our history, our beliefs. Understanding comes before alliance." Talia replied. They reached a secluded alcove where a small pool reflected an alien sky. The Queen turned to her, expression serious. "I have a proposal for you, Commander." "I'm listening." "Our species has a tradition. When we seek true understanding between civilizations, we offer ourselves mind, body, and spirit to forge a bond beyond mere treaties." The Queen's voice lowered. "I offer myself to you, Commander Novak, a union that would bind our worlds." Talia's heart raced. You mean a complete joining? Physical, mental, spiritual? Illyra's fingers finally made contact, tracing Talia's jaw with feather-light pressure. Few are offered this honor. Implication was clear, and Talia felt heat rise to her face. This was beyond any diplomatic protocol she'd been trained for. Yet she couldn't deny the pull she felt toward this enigmatic being. Why me? She whispered. Because you see beyond surfaces. You seek essence. Talia took a deep breath. Your Majesty, I'm deeply honored. But that's not what I wish for. Illyra drew back slightly, surprise evident in her luminous eyes. You refuse? No. I propose an alternative. Talia held the Queen's gaze steadily. Rather than a ritual union, I wish to know you, the real you, not the Queen, not the symbol. The being beneath the crown. Illyra went still, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing rapidly. No one has ever asked this of me, and perhaps it's time someone did. For several heartbeats, silence hung between them. Then, to Talia's astonishment, a single crystalline tear formed at the corner of Illyra's eye. In 10,000 years, she whispered, no one has wanted to know me. Only what I could give them. Talia reached up, catching the tear on her fingertip. It solidified instantly into a gem-like droplet. I'm not interested in what you can give me. Illyra, I want to know who you are. That, the Queen said softly, is a far more dangerous wish than you realize. Later, as Talia reported to her team, she omitted the personal details of her conversation with the Queen, but Prince Jackson, watching from the shadows, had seen everything. His expression, for once, held something other than disdain, a mixture of concern and grudging respect. You've surprised her, he said when they were alone. That rarely happens. Is that good or bad? Jackson's lips curved into a smile. We'll see, won't we? The royal archives were typically forbidden to outsiders. Yet here Talia stood, surrounded by crystalline data structures containing millennia of Celestian knowledge. Queen Illyra moved beside her, occasionally touching a crystal to activate historical displays, holographic scenes from the Celestians' past. Our civilizations are more similar than you might think, Illyra said, her voice softer than when others were present. We too nearly destroyed ourselves before finding balance. Talia watched a recreation of ancient Celestians developing their first interstellar vessels. These ships, they're organic? Semi-sentient bioengineering. They grow rather than being built. Illyra smiled at Talia's fascination. Your scientists would call it impossible. Nothing's impossible. Just undiscovered. Her eyes met, and something passed between them, a recognition, perhaps, of kindred spirits despite their different origins. Their moment was interrupted by a sharp alert sound. A communication crystal near Illyra pulsed urgently. The Queen touched it, and Prince Jackson's face appeared. Mother, the Council demands your presence. The human ship received a transmission from Earth. They're saying, he hesitated, glancing at Talia. They're saying Commander Novak's mission is unauthorized. That she's a rogue element. Talia's blood ran cold. That's impossible. Illyra turned to her, eyes narrowing. Is it? I was sent by the highest authority, Talia insisted. This makes no sense, Come, Illyra said, her royal demeanor returning. We will face this together. The council chamber was intimidating 12 Celestian elders seated in a semicircle, their crystalline crowns pulsing with skepticism. Before them stood Admiral Harlow, Talia's superior, projected from the human vessel. Commander Novak acted without authorization, Harlow was saying. Her orders were reconnaissance only. Any diplomatic agreements she's proposed are void. That's a lie, Talia stepped forward. Admiral Harlow personally signed my diplomatic credentials. Harlow's expression hardened. Commander, you will return to the ship immediately for disciplinary action. Illyra raised a hand, silencing the room. Perhaps, she said coolly, there is more happening than is apparent. Later, in the privacy of the Queen's personal chambers, Talia paced while Illyra watched her with concern. Earth has never reached out to the Celestian Dominion before, Talia said. Why disavow me now? Because someone doesn't want our worlds to connect, Illyra replied, stepping closer. Talia, there are factions among my people who fear humans. just as I suspect there are those among yours who fear us." Their proximity was distracting. Talia could see the subtle patterns of light beneath Elara's skin, pulsing with her emotions. The queen took Talia's hand, and a warm current seemed to flow between them. "Trust is rare between our worlds," Elara whispered. "But I find myself trusting you." "As do I," Talia admitted, squeezing the queen's hand gently. Then perhaps Elara said, eyes shimmering with determination, "It's time we discovered the truth together." In the shadowed corridors outside, Prince Jackson listened, his expression troubled. He touched a communication crystal embedded in his wrist. "The human and my mother grow closer," he reported to an unseen listener. "If we're to prevent what's coming, we must act soon." Forbidden Alliance Thalia awoke to the gentle hum of Elara's private vessel as it slipped through hyperspace. They had fled the royal palace under cover of darkness, taking only what they needed for their mission. To discover who was sabotaging relations between their worlds, she found Elara in the ship's control chamber, her silver blue hands dancing over the crystalline interface. "You should rest more," Talia said. Moving to stand beside her, Elara smiled faintly. "Celestians require less sleep than humans. That's not what kept you awake." Talia's voice was gentle but firm. After weeks together, she had learned to read the subtle patterns of light beneath the queen's skin. "You're worried about Jackson?" He was not pleased with our departure. Lyra's expression clouded. "To leave without council approval, it's unprecedented." Talia touched Elara's arm, feeling the warm energy that always seemed to flow between them. "He's your son. He'll understand eventually. Perhaps." Elara turned fully to her then, reaching up to trace the line of Talia's jaw with ethereal fingers. "Few would risk what you have for an alien queen they barely know." "I know enough," Talia whispered. Leaning into the touch, their lips met in a kiss that transcended species gentle at first.
Ow.
Then deepening with shared longing, Elara's touch sent waves of sensation through Talia that were beyond physical connection, that seemed to resonate at a quantum level. When they finally parted, both were breathless. "Among my people," Elara said softly, "such a union is sacred." "Among mine too," Talia replied. "When it's real." The moment was interrupted by the ship's alert system. A vessel was approaching, one bearing Earth Alliance signatures. "They've found us," Talia said. Reluctantly pulling away, the communication crystal activated, revealing Admiral Harlow's stern face. "Commander Novak, by authority of Earth Alliance. You are ordered to surrender the alien sovereign and return to Earth for court-martial." Talia stepped forward. "On what charges?" "Treason. Conspiracy with alien forces. The evidence is quite compelling." Harlow's smile was cold. "Did you really think your little investigation wouldn't be noticed? We've known about the Celestians for years. This diplomatic mission was merely a cover to assess their weaknesses." Elara moved to Talia's side, her expression regal despite the betrayal in her eyes. "And what of the transmission disavowing Commander Novak?" "A necessary step to isolate her," Harlow replied. "We couldn't have her reporting our true intentions back to Earth leadership." Talia felt Elara's hand slip into hers, a gesture of solidarity that gave her strength. "The Alliance Council wouldn't authorize this," Talia said firmly. "The Council doesn't know what's necessary for humanity's survival." Harlow's eyes hardened. "Surrender now, or we will open fire." As the transmission ended, Talia turned to Elara. "I'm so sorry." "I never knew." Elara silenced her with a gentle touch. "You are not responsible for the actions of others." Her eyes shimmered with determination. "Now we fight together." The small Celestian vessel trembled as another barrage from Harlow's cruiser hit its shields. In the control chamber, Talia and Elara worked in perfect synchrony, their movements mirroring each other as if they'd been partners for years rather than weeks. "Shields at 30%, Talia reported, her fingers flying over the adapted controls. "We can't take another direct hit." Elara's bioluminescent patterns pulsed rapidly, the Celestian equivalent of an adrenaline surge. "We won't need to." "Look." On the view screen, a swarm of smaller vessels appeared, surrounding Harlow's cruiser. At their center was a larger ship, that Talia recognized immediately Prince. Jackson's royal vessel. The communication crystal activated, and Jackson's face appeared. "Mother," he said, his expression solemn, "I bring the council's judgment." Lara straightened. "Every inch the queen, despite their desperate circumstances." "And what judgment is that, my son?" "That you were right," for Jackson curved his lips. "We've uncovered the conspiracy. Factions within both our governments have been working to prevent an alliance. They fear what our united species might become." Relief washed over Talia. "Jackson Harlow is about to—" "He will do nothing," Jackson interrupted. "His vessel is now immobilized, and the Earth's Alliance Council has been informed of his unauthorized actions." Hours later, aboard Jackson's ship, Talia and Alara stood together as representatives from both worlds gathered. The Celestian Council elders were present via projection, as were members of the Earth's Alliance leadership. What Admiral Harlow attempted was not authorized, Counselor Patel of Earth assured them. "We seek peaceful relations with the Celestian people." "As do we," Elder Vex of the Celestians replied. "Though this situation has revealed vulnerabilities in both our systems." Talia stepped forward, still holding Alara's hand. "Perhaps that's the first lesson of our alliance, that we are stronger together than apart." Murmurs of agreement filled the chamber, but Elder Vex raised a crystalline hand. "There remains the matter of this personal union between Queen Alara and Commander Novak. It is unprecedented." "Perhaps," Alara said, her voice carrying the weight of her position. "It is precisely what both our worlds need: a bridge between species, built on understanding and love rather than strategic advantage." Silence fell over the gathering, broken finally by Prince Jackson. "Ancient texts speak of such unions, cosmic partnerships, that transcend physical forms. They were thought to be legends, yet here we stand." Talia felt Alara's energy pulse through their joined hands, warm, loving, certain. She faced the assembled officials with confidence. "What we have discovered together goes beyond politics or treaties. We found a connection that could show both our worlds a new way forward." As their ships returned to Celestian space in peaceful convoy, Talia and Alara stood alone at a viewport, watching the stars streak by. "What you wished for," Alara said softly. "To know me, not just the queen." "It changed everything," Talia smiled, turning to face her. "And what you offered yourself, accept it now, fully understanding what it means." As their lips met again, energies merged, human determination and resilience flowing into Celestian wisdom and perception. Neither would ever be quite the same, and neither would their worlds. Their cosmic union had begun, and with it, a new chapter for both their civilizations, one written not in treaties or technological exchanges, but in the universal language of love.